Welcome to another edition of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is the Kurosaki Shizuku R2 Nakiri 165mm knife. So the way these are made is the hardcore cutting edge steel in a 3-layer construction is R2 full stainless steel. It is a powdered metallurgy type of steel. It has really good edge retention. They take it to around 62 Rockwell, maybe 63. So the edge retention is excellent. It's fine grained. It's reasonable to sharpen with good sharpening stones that have a little bit of aggressiveness to them. Will take a great edge and will hold it really well. So it's great for high volume situations, or just if you like edge retention and you don't like to sharpen too often. And when you do sharpen, you put a nice edge on it and it'll hold it a while. So the cladding is soft stainless cladding, so it's an all stainless construction. Looks like it probably does cover the spine, and they got some very interesting texture that Kurosaki-san puts on these. The weight and dimensions can vary a little bit from knife to knife, but this particular one is 148 grams or 5.2 ounces. Edge length, the usable area up into the start of the curve here on the tip is about 160 millimeters, and then the overall length is about 308 millimeters, a little over 12 inches. Spine thickness, these typically have a little bit of thickness coming out of the handle, and this one's actually thinner than a lot of them I've seen. So they've got about 2¼ millimeters thickness above the back of the blade, and then about 1.7. So this actually thins out kind of as you go down towards the end out here. Our camera to pick up on that. There we go. Yet it retains a fair amount of stiffness, especially in the back half of the blade. The blade height, got about 51.2 at the back millimeters, and I got about 52.1 about halfway down. So you can see it kind of gains some height as we go. The handle is just good kind of standard high quality octagonal ambidextrous walnut with a black packawood ferrule and good tight glue up job where the tang goes in. This particular one has some very nice figuring on it. So this is a very nice looking handle. This has a cool pattern, especially on this side with the angles on the wood. So really nicely done. The balance point is going to be about right there. So fairly close to a pinch grip for a lot of people. For me, it's maybe just a touch behind, but pretty close. So what that means is you got a pretty neutral feel right here, balance-wise, for probably most people will have experienced that. The handle size, by the way, is about 72 millimeters in circumference where those two materials meet. That's where I measure them. You've got a good curve right here to put your finger in there for a pinch grip. So it's very comfortable for a pinch grip. Let's get our beauty shot with this blade. The cladding line of the core steel is kind of hard to pick up, so it's pretty faint even in person, but so we'll go, I guess we'll go with that. Let's take a close-up look. So Kurosaki puts a kind of a unique hammer imprint on these, and they're all going to be a little bit unique, and there is some laser etched kanji on the top of this. A fair amount of polish you can see to the whole blade. And then here's the left side of the knife as you'd be holding it. Every knife's going to be a little different. A little hard to see, but I think you can probably catch that cladding line right there. That little wavy line. It's a little hard to show because the blade has a fair amount of polish to it, but there's your cladding line. And then this is your edge bevel right here. Fit and finish is excellent on these. These are very well made, as usual, from Kurosaki-san. They have good polish on the spine with the edges relieved. Nice job taking the time to polish and relieve the corners on the choil into the neck. And so these are very comfortable out of the box. Good solid 6, maybe 7 out of 10 edge on these. They're ground well. They're very straight. They're all ground thin at the edge. The tip really, the traditional tip here, but really good performance on these. And let's look at it on the cutting board. These are very unique looking, but they're great performers, all stainless, great steel. So here's what the cutting board profile looks like. Yes, you can rock with a Nakiri with the curved tip on it, and so I can for sure rock with this thing, not a problem, pretty much as high as I want to go. And then I've got a pretty good flat spot in the back half of the blade, so it kind of flows into a stop right there. It's not super abrupt, but it does come into a stop. And then, so I've got loads of chopping space back here, but a little bit of room here for some other type of stuff. You could draw a cut with it. You could rock a little bit with it. So a pretty versatile profile, actually. So it's just an excellent line of knives. I've got the 240 Gitto in this line, and it's just a great knife. So I can highly recommend the entire line. There's, you know, whatever particular shape you want for your particular task. But this is the Kurosaki Shizuku R2 Nakiri 165mm knife.